and 1. We are live.
Thank you. So this is government operations. It is Friday, May 14th. And we got off a couple minutes late here because I had to tell a story about my dead end street, but we weren't doing any business. But just so that people know, I think there's been some confusion about what we're actually doing today. We are not addressing this bill. I've made it very clear that this bill is going nowhere this year. So we're not going to get into any details on the bill or anything else. The only thing I promised was that, yes, my understanding was that the other day, some of the sheriffs met with members from VSEA, and they wanted to give us an update about what had happened at that meeting. That's all we're doing today, just so that I don't know if anybody has questions about that or not, but we are not going to get into any details of the bill, because by January, we will have forgotten all of them anyway. Anybody have any questions about that? Okay, so I guess what I'm going to do is ask the Sheriff Marcoux and maybe Mark to just give us an update on what's been happening between the sheriffs, the transport people, and the VSEA, and just an update on that. Does that make sense, everybody?
If you could also hear from Steve Howard, that would be great.
And everybody needs to know that we have limited time.
Yes,
We have to be out of here by 5 of 2.
Yes.
Got it.
So this was scheduled for a 15-minute update. That's what this was scheduled for. So, okay. So, yes, we will hear also from Steve Howard. Okay, so Sheriff Marcoux, do you want to kick it off?
Certainly, and there's nobody happier to hear that you want to get out of here at 5 of 2 than me. So, good afternoon, everyone. Yesterday, the Vermont Sheriff's Association had a meeting, and I think we had about 10 of the sheriffs present, and had some representatives, including Steve and Howard and Vince Luzzi, and their counsel at the meeting. And it was for lack of a better term, just to get to know each other meeting. But I'm happy to report that the sheriffs felt it was very, very constructive. We learned a lot. And basically, next Tuesday, we're going to have another meeting over Zoom with the sheriffs to continue the conversation about how to protect the state paid deputies. They've been well below where they should be paid. And then there was not a minor scare for all of them with a bill that was introduced, and we're going to be studying, thanks to Senator White, in which they may have lost their jobs. So some of the things that I'm interested in looking into is I asked Annie Noonan with our central office if she could figure out how much it would cost to bring the state paid deputies up to where they should be. They're below what the corrections officers are right now. And the other, another piece of it is I think we'll be kicking back and forth, maybe a reclassification of their positions. And we, by all means, want to be fair to these folks. And each one of these people have families and children. And so it's something that we're taking very, very seriously. And I would say unequivocally that we have an open mind to this. And I was very, very happy to see the spirit and the tone of yesterday's meeting between the VSEA and us. So how's that? Is that short enough?
That was perfect. Thank you. That's what we need, is just an update about where you are. Mark? And I apologize that you were unable to talk with us last time you were here, but we truly do run out of time a lot.
Understandable completely. So I will keep it incredibly brief. Thank you for letting me speak at all. And the group does understand there's a lot of moving parts with this. We're all trying to stay open-minded. The crux of our whole reason behind this is for the existence of the state deputies, we've neither been fish nor fowl nor good red meat. We've always just been the redheaded stepchild of state law enforcement. And it took us a long time to even get to the point where we are now. And it's just a matter of fairness and equality and a standardized set of rules. There are 24 positions, and it seems some days we have 28 different sets of rules. So it's really a matter of getting us all on the same page and being recognized as the professionals we are as compared to other state law enforcement officers. We have the same standards as DLC, VSP, DMV. We go to the same academy for the same amount of time, and yet we've always just been shuttled aside, and it's very insulting. So all we are looking for is equal treatment as all the other professional state law enforcement officers that we are. And it's going to take some time, and we understand that there's a lot of moving parts, but we're looking forward to working with the executive director's office, the sheriffs, the legislature to figure out, okay, what's the least painful and most, the easiest way to coordinate all of this over the next, hopefully the next year. So.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Mark? All right, thank you very much, Mark. And I think that by the conversations continuing with everybody over the summer and fall, that when we come back in January, we should be in a much better place to understand all the moving parts. And there will also have been the, well, it is a study now that is in the appropriations bill that the sheriff was referring to, that just what was a little mind-boggling when it first hit. So, but we've taken care of that. So hopefully when we come back, we'll have much better understanding of what the issues are. And I know that Annie has been working with you all around some of the issues. So thank you.
I could just make one last
Sure.
quick comment. As this process continues, our jobs are very confusing as we deal with 14 different counties, 14 different courts, and all of them do things a little bit differently. If there's questions or you need to speak to a deputy about how exactly does whatever work, by all means, reach out to me or Robert Lakin from Wyndham. We've kind of taken on the role of the spokespeople for the state deputies, and we'd be more than willing to answer questions.
Great, thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Steve?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have that much more to add, but I will say that VSEA was very pleased with the meeting that we had yesterday. I think there was some confusion among the sheriffs who thought we were asking for a scope of bargaining that was beyond the items that are in the interest of the state. We're not going to get into details about vehicles and uniforms and all of that. But it's been made very clear to us that the state deputies, I guess they've been looking for a reclass for a while. They are at pay grade 20. They really should be at pay grade 24. They did have this recent scare in the State House, and it sounds like they need a strong advocate who knows their way around the State House, who can fight for them and who can protect their interests. And VSEA is very happy that they think that we can do that, and we're happy to play that role. So I thought it was a good meeting yesterday, and hopefully we can get them up to the pay grade that they should be at. We can get some uniformity for them. We can get them a powerful advocate that will be able to not only protect them, but promote their cause.
Thank you. Any questions for Steve? I will say that it would be good if we could get all of our law enforcement up to the pay grade where they should be, not just the state transport deputies, but all the deputies and municipal as well. So, Annie, do you have anything that you'd like to add at this point, knowing that we're not going to we're really not going to do anything with this bill at all to this year.
Given your time constraints, Senator, and the fact that I think you've heard from everybody who had something to say, Roger Marcoux and Steve and Mark, I think there are issues certainly that we would always, as always, devil in the details as to how any of this would look or play. I know John Berard is here from Vermont DHR, but at this point, I think we can sit back and see where we go and where we are by January. But thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Thank you. John, would you like
No,
to?
Madam Chair, I was more of an observer to find out exactly what was being said. And as long as people recognize it's not quite as simple as perhaps it's being made out to be, I think we're in a good place.
Okay, great. I apologize for any confusion here about whether or not we were actually going to take up this bill and get into details on the bill itself. I know that we just simply don't have time. Even if we as a committee right now and everybody here could agree on all the details and everything, it wouldn't go anywhere this year anyway, because it would go to the Rules Committee and it wouldn't be let out. So anything else anybody wants to add? Or
Thank you and the committee for your leadership this year on many issues that have impacted state employees and law enforcement.
You're welcome. Thank you. It is an area that we've been working on for law enforcement is an area we've been working on for a long time. And not just around transport deputies, but all of law enforcement in the state and what we mean by that and how that plays out. So, and I thank all of you for coming and on short notice and for a short time. But when we come back in January, I'm sure that we'll be in a much better place to address this. Annie, was that your hand up? Oh, okay. It's sometimes hard to tell if people are putting their hands up, and then we have a couple people. Yeah, actually yesterday we were doing something and Tony Fakos was with us and he was having a conversation with somebody over there. He was on mute, but he was going like this and it looked like he was doing some kind of a dance. Okay, anything else anybody wants to say? Yes, Alice. Oh, Allison, was that just an okay or okay?
I just want to say thank you, Madam Chair. You know, this is one of my favorite committees.
I know you say that to all the committees you go to. Well, no, not all of them, but
yes, all of them.